Are we doing this? All right. Well, good morning. Having a little coffee. Just a normal coffee. My mother calls it a pour-over. But it's delicious. Let's see. All right, let's go. Let's wake up. Let's go. Ende. 3. Already at 3. Everybody adopted the Chinese model and eggs, potatoes, and tortillas. It's all under control. Sure it is. Are you freaking out yet? I'm in a hellhole, locked down in my office/bunker with confirmed cases of Wu flu exploding all over Germany. But we're flattening the curve with social distancing. When does this end? Will it ever end? Or will I end before it ends? Have I already had it? Do I have it right now? F me! Well, at least I was able to get away for a while. It was Saturday evening, March 28th, and I thought I was due some fun. I lined up the many worlds mix that Mr. Sparrow had given me. It was about 4 inches long. He had told me to mix it in a cup of warm water, but I'm not that patient, and I figured that since he's me, he would know that, and so I hoovered it up like a Dyson. I've never had a Dyson. I probably shouldn't have used a 50-euro note, now that I think about it. I didn't spray anything on that note. It was like hitting a speed bump at 75 miles an hour. Ba-bump! Oh, that burnt. Ooh, it was just that. And then, and when I opened my eyes, bam! What the? Am I really here? Is this a hallucination? The ocean, the air, deep breath, and I felt, or I imagined I could, the negative ions boosting my serotonin levels. Even if this is the apocalypse, I thought, it ain't so bad here. I was feeling good, feeling healthy. I knew at once where I was. LBC, hello. How have you been? Yeah. So, it felt great in the sun. It beat Germany in the winter every day of the week, especially during the apocalypse in slow motion. COVID-19 or some other biological weapon must have been here too, because the beach was about as empty as could be. I guess almost everybody was indoors playing at being a hypochondriac. I had no idea what I was supposed to do. Okay, I was in Long Beach, that much I got. But what was the next step? I took off my beat-up Vans and happy socks and dug my toes into the sand. According to my watch, it was 10:37, so it was the morning, and there was a bit of chill in the air, but I didn't mind it, not at all. I took a seat and watched the small waves roll over themselves and bubble into nothingness and do it again and again. I closed my eyes and listened to the ocean's story. When I opened my eyes, he was standing a few feet from me, he being one of those other versions of me. He smiled, and I leapt up like a line drive coming off the bat of Johnny LeMaster. That illusion is for Johnny F. and goes back to times no one else knows. And when I was on my feet, he, this other me, fucking tackled me and laid me out in the sand. Dude, get off me, are you nuts? I screamed. Embarrassingly, I'm sure I sounded a bit like a little girl. This other me got off me and had a big laugh as I scrambled away from him. He looked like a deadhead version of the goddamn Unabomber. What? Are you worried about the virus? Forget about it. It's all bullshit, man. It'll disappear faster than it came, mark my words. And most of the tests they're running don't even show if it's COVID-19 or not, just that it's a coronavirus. And those things are everywhere. You do got the Wu flu in your world too, right? I told him a lot of people were dying horrible deaths from it in my world. People are dying horrible deaths all the time, he said. They always have been. Of course, I don't know what's going on in your world, but here, everybody adopted the Chinese model. All the so-called free countries of the world have adopted the model of one of the most oppressive and brutal regimes the world has ever known. We've all been stripped of basic, fundamental rights because of a cough, and no one's even said a thing about that. Just take away all our rights, please. Everyone's scared and fear. Oh, it's always been the best tool to control people. Many of those rights probably won't be coming back unless this respiratory disease disappears as quickly as it came. I believe it will, but then again, governments can keep this sham going as long as they want. And one thing they want to do is build massive surveillance systems to detect where the virus is spreading, where the bogeyman is. You know, it is a bogeyman, like terrorism, and it's always out there. You know, man is a frickin' coward and prefers the goddamn yoke over making his own life. Then the other me dropped his head. But hey, let's change the record, he said, looking back up. Let me guess, you're calling yourself Mr. Robin. I told him that was exactly what I had planned on calling myself. Go ahead and be Mr. Robin. Just call me Stanley. Are you hungry? He asked. I wasn't particularly hungry, but why not? He said he was on his way back to his place for breakfast and that I would love what would be waiting for us. I asked him how he knew I would be here, and he said that he didn't, that it was just the way that Yaqui sorcerer potion worked. He said many of us, had already visited him. Huh? So I'm not the first? How come I'm always the last to find out about things? I asked him. We talked about our lives and worlds on the way to his place, which was only a few blocks from the beach. Our worlds seemed basically the same, but unlike me, he was well off. This me had dropped out of school and put all his money into the markets. I had gone to Germany and never had much money to invest. We didn't run into anybody walking to his squat and clean 2-bedroom, 2-bath bungalow that must have cost well north of $1 million. And that's not including the expensive garden furniture that was out in the front yard. Stanley opened the door and wonderful smells hit me. My brother, from the other world, was cooking in the kitchen. Hey, look who I found on the beach, asked Stanley. Yo, another one. Cool, what's up, bro? Said Mac. Are you another Mr. Robin? He laughed. He is, the other me said, and the poor bastard is even poor. Well, rich or poor, this is the best breakfast in the world, said Mac. I couldn't agree more. Eggs, potatoes, tortillas, bacon, sausage, chorizo. I was in heaven. For the uninitiated, it looks like a big pile up on the freeway. Oh, something you don't want to see. But it's one of the best meals this world, or any world, has ever known. We stuffed ourselves. It was perfect. There were even leftovers, as there should be. So I helped my brother Mac roll up some burritos for a snack later on. As I was wrapping the last burrito in aluminum foil, there was a knock on the door. I couldn't believe it. Johnny F. was there. Yo, we got a double Stanley. All right, a little dub-dub times 2. Load it up, Mac, and let's get busy starting the day right. That's what Johnny said. I wish I could do his voice, but yeah, he was on fire as always. So Mac packed a bong with what he called Platinum OG. He took a swell hit, repacked it, and passed it to me. I took one hit, and yes, I was off on an express elevator and instantly shot up to a floor somewhere in the clouds. It was too much for me. Whoa. I went and took a seat on the couch. I hadn't smoked in years, and I felt my heart start to gallop. I closed my eyes and listened to the three of them laughing and talking, and then it stopped. I was back in my office/bunker. I wasn't even gone a minute. Did I even go anywhere? All I knew is that I was still high, and it took a couple of days before I felt normal again, before the apocalypse in slow motion started registering again. Bleib gesund, Frankfurt, and stay healthy wherever you are out there. And Raph and gentlemen, I am really enjoying our homeless beers. Take care.